Of course, I'm James Morrow. Well, things are starting to heat up for Julie Inman Grant, a.k.a. the E-Karen, as we like to call her here, Australia's censor-in-chief, the American woman who used to work for Twitter in its pre-Elon days, where her job was to make sure only the official, approved lefty narratives were promoted on that site, and who somehow managed to fetch up in Australia, using our local lack of free speech protections to try and regulate what American social media platforms, which are, of course, protected by the First Amendment, can run on their sites. What an absolutely fascinating career arc that has been. Now, you may recall that a few months ago here on Truth Bomb, in fact, I think it might have been the first or the second Truth Bomb segment we did on this program, I broke the story of bombshell emails between Julie Inman Grant and an outfit called the Global Alliance for Responsible Media, which sought to pressure advertisers to use their purchasing power to, among other things, stop, as the emails put it, the contagion of Donald Trump. Well, this was a great scandal, and now, in a win for the good guys, and thanks to the efforts of Senator Alex Antic in South Australia, the Australian Senate has voted in favor of a move to demand Julie Inman Grant release all her correspondence with the group. We only saw part of it that came out from a House Judiciary Committee investigation in the United States. But, as they say on TV, wait, there's more, because you'll never guess who else Inman Grant has been chatting to.
Pondering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So disinformation's origins are slightly less atrocious.
Incredible.
Yes, that's right. Nina Jankowicz, whom the Biden administration tried to appoint as their own E-Karen, or as they called it in the U.S., Executive Director of the Disinformation Governance Board. And guess what? Well, this was one big girl boss E-Karen love-in. Let's go to the documents, shall we? Here's an email. Nina, thank you for your kind words, and I am beyond excited. You'll be out here in Australia. I'm Sydney-based, and have a few ideas about how we might be able to do some really interesting work together to make some serious impact. Multiple exclamation points. I made it through Senate estimates relatively unscathed, but it was a marathon. Much talk was coming of a trip to Australia by Jankowicz here, where there was lots of important business happening. Yes, important business like this. Inman Grant breathlessly reported to Jankowicz, quote, I have secured exciting from 11:30 to 12:30 on September 6th after your meeting with the unions, with the gender leaders group. This is including the most senior women in government, including the ambassador for gender equality, the commissioner for domestic violence, the CEO of the Women's Gender Equality Agency, and the head of the Prime Minister's Office for Women. How exciting! Well, Julie Inman Grant was also full of praise for the Sydney Morning Herald's Peter Harcher, saying, he is a great and thoughtful journalist and one who you can count on to get the nuance right. Oh. But don't worry, the news organization you are fighting is full of culture war hit jobs on us on a fairly regular basis. Gee, I wonder, guys, who could she have been referring to? Well, maybe this email will clear things up. Quote, hello, Nina. It is midnight, and I'm about to turn into a pumpkin. But I was just looking at your website today and was reading your story on Politico and was just struck by how the playbook is so eerily similar. Even the language the fringe senators are using about me being a useless idiot, a traitor, and Sky News using me as their favorite punching bag every night seems all too familiar and not very original, unquote. Well, gosh, I wonder who that friend Sarah could be. Could be our friend Alex? I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching, Ms. Inman Grant. I'm so glad you are a big, loyal Sky News viewer. And from one American to another, how good is free speech? Hey? Almost good as Nina Jankowicz is singing.
Information laundering is really quite ferocious. It's when a huckster takes some lies and makes them sound precocious by saying them in Congress or a mainstream outlet. So